What more can you say about Michael Jordan? 6 rings and 6 tries, 10-time scoring champ, and a Defensive Player of the Year, and in that same year he won one of his 5 MVPs. His accomplishments almost don't do him justice. You could talk about his legend endlessly. You can talk about the dozens of fellow NBA legends that retired ringless because of him. But all of this begs the question, what if Michael played in this era? The rules have been all but fine-tuned for his game. You can't touch a player on the perimeter, and with the focuses now being around spacing and switchability on defense, Jordan could feast. But let's not take our word for it. Let's see what NBA legends have to say about Jordan playing in today's game. But before we begin, don't forget that you can win a free piece of merch from our partner Ultra Game. All you have to do is subscribe to this channel and the Ultra Game channel, like this video, and drop a comment with the name of your favorite team or player. Now, Jordan wasn't known for his long-range shooting. Now, while he's unquestionably a guaranteed bucket from the mid-range, people often wonder if he'd be able to adapt to the modern game. The mid-range contested jumper is practically a curse word in today's NBA vernacular. While his athleticism in the earlier part of his career was unmatched, in the later part of his career, he mostly played with his back to the basket, another part of the game that is considered archaic. Would he be a dinosaur in the league today? Well, let's see what Kevin Durant, arguably no less than the 3rd best player in the league for the past decade, has to say about where Jordan would fit in.
I mean, he can adapt his game to anything. He would fit in as the best player in the league. Like, that's what he would be. And, I feel like he'll have more possessions to do more things.
Okay, so we understand the respect that Mike's earned, but maybe that's too vague. It wouldn't be the most compelling argument to just say the man's great and leave it at that. What about more specifics? Where exactly is Jordan going to get his points? With the way the game is played now, you want your shots in one of 3 ways. You want open catch and shoot threes.
Back to Thompson. Thompson three-pointer. Bang!
Open layups, dunks. And free throws. In Jordan's era, he wasn't running off-ball screen to get open threes. And no team would let Jordan have an uncontested shot at the rim, so that leaves us with his free throws. In today's game, no one gets to the free throw line like James Harden. He gets so many, he's hated by some in the basketball community for it. But in his highest scoring season, he averaged 11 free throws and scored an average total of 36.1 points. Michael Jordan's highest scoring season was in 1987 when he averaged 37.1 points while shooting an average of 10 free throws. Now imagine Jordan attacking the basket with today's rules. He'd easily turn the corner on any perimeter defender given their inability to hand check, and you then have to either commit a foul or give up an easy layup or get put on a poster. If you don't believe us, ask Hall of Fame forward Paul Pierce.
You thought James Harden got to the line a lot. Jordan would average 20 free throws probably every night. You got to understand, he would evolve into this era.
It isn't just the lack of permitted physicality in the game today that would have aided Michael's game. Think about the bigs he had to meet at the rim in his era. He crosses up John Starks and goes baseline to be met with Patrick Ewing, a 7-footer with an 8-foot wingspan, and weighed a strong 240, and who is also 3 times all-defense. Jordan still put the man on a poster. Place Michael in today's game, Michael breaks down Klay Thompson and turns the corner to face Draymond Green, who stands at a listed 6 feet 6 inches with a 7-foot 1-inch wingspan. Both Ewing and Draymond are all defense-level talent, so this example is not trying to downplay today's defenders. You have to remember, Draymond was the center for the Warriors' infamous death lineup. Michael Jordan would either be putting Green on more posters than you could fit in a room, or Jordan's going to be spending half of the playoff series shooting free throws. Some of you may argue, what about legit centers like Rudy Gobert? He's taller and longer than Ewing and won multiple Defensive Player of the Year. Well, we'll see you one Utah Jazz all-time defensive center and raise you another. Mark Eaton won 2 Defensive Player of the Year and also happened to be an imposing 7 foot 4 inches. Here is what Mike did to him.
Tipped away to Paxson though. Bulls keep it. Pax gives it to Jordan. Michael in deep. Knocked both hands on Mark Eaton. 34 for Jordan. It's a 6-point game.
Jordan would feast on the plethora of undersized bigs in the modern game, and he'd treat the few true bigs in the league like those of his era. For perspective, let's hear from a player who competed against Michael as a Pacer, though he's more so known for the Black Mamba dropping 82 on him as a Raptor.
The pace has increased, the three-point shot has increased. Players up front have gotten smaller. So now driving to the basket, he gonna be dunking on everybody.
Yeah.
Just think about that. Like, KD is like a 4 in today's game.
Speaking of all-time great defenders, the league has gotten far longer on the perimeter than during Jordan's day. Pretty much every team either has a guy or is desperate searching for a Scottie Pippen, a roughly 6-foot 8-inch wing with an insane wingspan that can stifle the ball handler. But an understated aspect of Jordan was his 6-foot 11-inch wingspan. He combined that wingspan with his exceptional vertical leap and made his signature shot. His turnaround fadeaway is up there with Dirk's fadeaway and Kareem's skyhook as the most unblockable shot in the game. Later in his career, with his footwork being impeccable, he added this shot to his arsenal that solidified the fact that you had to always be on your toes, because even if you don't fall for the head fakes and you keep your feet moving on the perimeter, he could just fade back and there was nothing that you could do to stop it. This aspect, more than any other, is emulated in the game today. You have players like DeMar DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard, whose mid-range game look almost identical to Jordan's, whose success seems like an aberration in an ever-spaced-out league. But as latter demonstrated while being a Raptor, the game still works. And don't let it be forgotten that while Michael in his 30s wasn't the hyper-quick freak of nature he was in his 20s, he was still incredibly quick and exceptionally strong for his size. His game in the post would only be aided by more modern spacing, as well as officials giving him even more favorable whistles than he already received during his day. So now we're completely aware that a lot of this video has been a bunch of old men saying, "back in my day," but in all honesty, the game has changed. For better or worse, the league has evolved to favor the perimeter score, and for the vast majority of NBA fans, it's been great. We've had wonderful imitations of his airness, like the late great Kobe Bryant, and we've had wonderful what-if conversations about who is better, Michael or LeBron. For better or worse, Michael's legacy is erasable. His greatness is hard to overstate, and as the years go by, we think that it will only show itself more as players fight to reach heights only he has reached. For a current player's perspective, let's end this video on a quote from All-NBA guard John Wall.
Imagine somebody averaging 37 when you can get beat up, no 3 seconds, hand checks, all that, you know what I mean? Like, now if you hit somebody like that, you suspended 10 games. Man, Jordan averaging 45 and whatever else he wants. Because, like, you can't touch nobody. Like, you can't hand check.
Yeah, for sure.
No hand check. You playing 6'6" guys at center.
And that is it for our video today. What do you think? Do you think Jordan's legend has grown larger than his actual merits? Do you think we'll ever see a player as dominant as Jordan, who owned an entire decade and had opponents literally scared of him? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you would like more videos like this uploaded daily. We'll see you next time.